know, saving your ass is not my only job.
I like her.
Tired of seeing the same sci-fi shows recommended over and over again? You know the ones. Big budgets, big marketing, and the same titles clogging every watch list. Meanwhile, some of the most mind-bending, thought-provoking sci-fi ever made barely gets talked about anymore. And it's not because they're bad, it's because algorithms move on fast. If a show isn't brand new or endlessly trending, it gets buried, no matter how bold or intelligent it actually is. Today, we're digging into 10 sci-fi shows, so mind-blowing they feel illegal to miss. These are series that mess with time, reality, free will, and the future itself. Shows that start strong, escalate fast, and leave you thinking long after the credits roll. If you love sci-fi that's smart, intense, and built for deep binges, this list is going to hit. Let's jump in. Number 10, The Society, Netflix.
They have too much power.
When The Society dropped in 2019, it quickly built a cult following, and for good reason. The series opens with a group of teenagers returning from a school trip to find their entire town mysteriously abandoned, with no adults, no internet, and no way out. What follows is a tense, slow burn descent into power struggles, moral compromises, and the frightening reality of building a society from scratch. The show ran for one season, spanning 10 episodes, and while it sets up a much larger mystery, it ends on a bold, unresolved note that still sparks debate. That unfinished feeling only adds to its legacy. Smart, dark, and far more thoughtful than it first appears, The Society isn't just a teen drama. It's a gripping social experiment that pulls you in fast and refuses to let go. Number 9, Devs, Hulu.
Life is just something we watch unfold.
If you like your sci-fi, quiet, unsettling, and intellectually aggressive, Devs is a must-watch. Created entirely by Alex Garland, this limited series follows a software engineer whose boyfriend vanishes after joining a secretive quantum computing division at a Silicon Valley tech giant. What begins as a corporate mystery slowly transforms into a chilling meditation on determinism, free will, and whether the future can truly be escaped. Devs isn't fast or flashy. It's cold, philosophical, and hypnotic. The visuals are pristine, the score is haunting, and the performances, especially Nick Offerman's, are deeply unnerving. Every episode feels deliberate, building toward ideas that linger long after the credits roll. This is sci-fi that doesn't just ask big questions, it stares them down. Number 8, 12 Monkeys, Prime Video.
We know that it's because of a man named Leland Frost.
12 Monkeys is one of those rare sci-fi shows that starts strong and somehow gets smarter, darker, and more emotionally devastating with every season. Loosely inspired by the 1995 film, the series follows time traveler James Cole as he jumps between a ruined future and the modern day, trying to stop a global catastrophe before it begins. But this isn't just a mission of the week story. The show leans hard into paradoxes, destiny, and the idea that time itself might be an enemy you can't defeat, only wrestle with. What really elevates 12 Monkeys is its long-term planning. Storylines loop back on themselves in deeply satisfying ways. Character arcs evolve across timelines, and the finale delivers real closure. If you want ambitious, layered sci-fi that actually sticks the landing, this is essential viewing. Number 7, The OA, Netflix. The OA is one of the boldest, strangest sci-fi series Netflix has ever released, and that's exactly why it still sticks with people years later. The show ran for 2 seasons, totaling 16 episodes, and follows Prairie Johnson, a young woman who returns after being missing for 7 years. Now able to see, and claiming she's something called the OA. What unfolds blends near-death experiences, parallel dimensions, faith, trauma, and identity into a story that refuses to explain itself in easy terms. Created by Britt Marling and Zal Batmanglij, The series leans into sincerity at a time when most sci-fi hides behind irony. It was planned as a 5-season story, but canceled after season 2, ending on a jaw-dropping cliffhanger. Messy, emotional, and deeply unconventional, the OA is sci-fi that asks you to feel first and understand later. Number 6. Altered Carbon, Netflix.
It's to be solved.
Altered Carbon is slick, violent, and unapologetically cyberpunk, one of Netflix's most ambitious sci-fi swings. The series ran for 2 seasons across 18 episodes, adapting Richard K. Morgan's novel into a neon-drenched future where consciousness can be transferred between bodies, turning death into a commodity. At the center is Takeshi Kovacs, a former rebel soldier pulled back into the world to solve a murder that shouldn't be possible. Season 1 leans hard into noir detective energy, packed with brutal action, towering cityscapes, and big philosophical questions about identity, power, and immortality. Season 2 shifts tone and scope, expanding the mythology while dividing fans. The show was canceled after 2 seasons, but it still stands as a bold, high-budget experiment, flawed, fascinating, and unforgettable for fans of hard sci-fi with teeth. Number 5. Love, Death, and Robots, Netflix. Love, Death, and Robots is pure creative chaos in the best possible way. This adult animated anthology has run for 4 seasons, delivering dozens of short, standalone stories that jump between sci-fi, horror, fantasy, and dark comedy without ever settling into one lane. Episodes range from just a few minutes to around 20, which means you can dip in anywhere and still get a complete, often mind-bending experience. What makes the series stand out is its constant reinvention. Every episode uses a different animation style, tone, and idea, from hyper-realistic cyberpunk nightmares to poetic, almost wordless sci-fi meditations. Some stories hit hard, some get weird, and some linger in your head long after they end. Still ongoing, this is one of Netflix's boldest experiments, and a must-watch for anyone who likes their sci-fi unpredictable. Number 4. Fringe, Hulu.
Look at this. And he was there with us.
Fringe is one of those rare sci-fi shows that starts like a procedural and slowly reveals something much bigger underneath. The series ran for 5 seasons and 100 episodes, following FBI agent Olivia Dunham, brilliant but unstable scientist Walter Bishop, and his estranged son Peter as they investigate bizarre cases involving fringe science. What begins as Monster of the Week storytelling gradually evolves into a dense mythology built around parallel universes, alternate timelines, and long-term consequences. The real secret weapon here is Walter Bishop, played masterfully by John Noble, whose mix of humor, tragedy, and moral guilt gives the show its emotional backbone. Fringe wasn't canceled abruptly. It was given a final season to wrap up its story, and it sticks the landing. If you want sci-fi that grows smarter, stranger, and more ambitious with time, this one absolutely earns your patience. Number 3. Person of Interest, Prime Video.
I know that the government, along with everybody else, thinks you're dead. Don't worry, I'm not going to tell anybody about you.
Person of Interest ran for 5 seasons and 103 episodes, and it might be the smartest sci-fi show to ever air on network television. Created by Jonathan Nolan, it begins as a sleek crime procedural about stopping violent acts before they happen, but quietly transforms into a full-blown exploration of artificial intelligence, surveillance, and free will. At the center is The Machine, an all-seeing system that predicts crimes, and the small team trying to decide what responsibility comes with that power. What makes the show special is how patiently it evolves. Each season expands the scope, raises the stakes, and deepens its moral questions without losing its emotional core. The series was given a final season to conclude its story, and the ending is deliberate, powerful, and earned. If you want sci-fi that rewards long-term investment, this one is essential. Number 2. Dark, Netflix. Dark ran for 3 tightly planned seasons, totaling 26 episodes, and it's one of the most ambitious sci-fi series ever made. Set in the small German town of Winden, it begins with the disappearance of a child and slowly unravels into a labyrinth of time travel, parallel worlds, and generational trauma. What makes Dark exceptional isn't just its complexity, it's how disciplined it is. Every loop, every paradox, every reveal is intentional, building toward a definitive ending the creators planned from the start. The show demands attention, but it rewards it with haunting visuals, an unforgettable score, and emotional payoffs that hit hard once the pieces click into place. It was not canceled. It concluded exactly as intended. If you want sci-fi that trusts the audience and commits fully to its vision, Dark is essential viewing. Number 1. The Expanse, Prime Video.
Someone will do anything to keep it quiet.
Some kind of game being played here.
The Expanse is the rare sci-fi series that grew bigger, smarter, and more confident with every season. Running for 6 seasons and 62 episodes, it began on Sci-Fi before being canceled after season 3, only to be famously rescued by Amazon, where it delivered its strongest chapters. Set in a future where Earth, Mars, and the Belt are locked in a fragile power struggle, the show blends political intrigue, hard science, and character-driven drama with astonishing precision. What separates The Expanse from most sci-fi is its commitment to realism. Gravity matters, space is unforgiving, and power always has a cost. The series concludes deliberately in season 6, leaving the door open to its larger universe while still providing a satisfying stopping point. It's smart, intense, and endlessly rewatchable, the gold standard of modern science fiction television.
Mr. Reese, I know about the work you used to do for the government. I know about the doubts you came to have about that work.
If you've made it this far, chances are your watch list just got a serious upgrade. These aren't shows you put on in the background. They're the kind that pull you in, mess with your head, and stay with you long after the credits roll. Sci-fi is at its best when it takes risks.
In an area called fringe science.
You're telling me my father was Dr. Frankenstein?
Asks uncomfortable questions and trusts the audience to keep up. And every series on this list does exactly that. If you've already seen some of these, let me know which ones lived rent-free in your mind. And if a few were completely new, even better. You've got some incredible nights of TV ahead of you.
If you don't solve this quickly enough, I'll erase you. Of the end.
If you want more lists like this, where the focus is on the bold, the overlooked, and the genuinely mind-blowing, make sure to subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.